So I heard you were looking everywhere how to install and configure a DHCP server on Linux. I heard your calls for help. Come and join me right about here. Here you are in your favorite test bed, where we test everything and I'll show all about Linux. And today we are going to set up a DHCP server and of course, obviously, the client. So before I do this, disclaimer, like I like to disclaim things that I know I should disclaim. Be careful where you test your DHCP server, okay? Make sure you're testing your DHCP server out of a production network, either being a physical network, either being a virtualized network. So make sure you are testing your DHCP stuff outside of your production environment. A different VLAN, a different physical different network, a different virtual network, whatever the case. Don't test your DHCP stuff on a production network. Why? Because your testing DHCP may break your network, because the DHCP servers are going to start to compete with one another, and you don't want to do that. So get yourself a safe environment, a completely physical detached network from the rest of the production network, different VLAN, a different virtualization network, anything that is not impactful to your production network. You have been warned. Don't test your DHCP stuff on a production network. You have been warned. All right. Next, you decide which server is going to be your DHCP server. In this case, it's going to be this guy here. It has no name. It's just a fresh install. Doesn't really matter. I call it Linux and Rocky. Doesn't really matter. So first, you need to check the IP address of the server. Okay. And in this case, I have this IP address, 192.168.1.103. Okay. Why to check this? First of all, it's important to know your IP address of the server. Your DHCP server, highly recommend. It's not mandatory, but 99% of the time, your DHCP server needs to have a static IP address. Any server or most servers should have a static IP address, and this is the static IP address of my to become DHCP server. Next, is to check the network that it belongs to. So in this case, it's 192.168.1 with the /24. So this DHCP server is going to serve the 192.168.1 network, which means when you configure our DHCP server, it needs to match this subnet. So this is going to be a DHCP server for this specific subnet, because this is the only IP address it has. So it's going to serve the network 192.168.1. This DHCP server with this static IP address will not be able to serve any other network but this one. Okay? There are techniques to serve multiple networks. This is not our case here. So this is 192.168.1, which means it's going to serve clients from the 192.168.1 network or subnetwork. Okay? Cool. Next, we need to install our DHCP server. Easy enough. So DNF install DHCP server -y. And now we wait. DNS, I'm ahead of myself. Okay, DNF install, and there we go. This should not take too long. It is really small piece of software, and should be really quick. Okay, it's done. It's installed. Good. Let me put my keyboard. Okay, so load keys in my keyboard layout. So we're good to go. Okay, now we have the DHCP server installed, and we know the network we will serve. Okay, next we'll configure the configuration file, which is vi etc dhcp.conf. This is the same across multiple Linuxes. DHCPD, so many letters. Cool. Now the file is empty. It's just a guideline, and I'm going to type now a sample configuration file for this network. Okay, this is going to take a while. I will just fast forward this video so you can just don't have to wait. I will put in the description below a sample configuration. If I forget, let me know and I put it there. So 3, 2, 1, here we go. Okay, so quick explanation. So these guys here, it's all about how long the list is. Okay, this is in seconds. So the default list time is 24 hours and the max list time is 48 hours. This is in seconds. So you can just configure this as you wish. Authoritative, you just put it authoritative and you'll be okay. Then subnet, it's a subnet mask. Just put authoritative and you'll be okay. Doesn't really matter to dissect this too much. Subnet, the IP address of the subnet address referenced. The range, which means it's going to borrow the IP 100 to 150, so 100, 101, 102, and so on and so forth. This is going to be the router, the subnet mask, and the DNS servers that the DHCP clients are going to receive. Okay. I think I have made no typos, but we will find out soon enough. So let's just save the file. Okay. Next, we just need to do a couple of extra steps. So let's just create a firewall exception. So firewall cmd add service equals DHCP. Yeah, it's enough. Permanent. I think this is okay. I mistyped something. Okay, that's fine. Minus no firewall cmd add service equals DHCP equals permanent. And customer at minus add service. Okay. Reload. Cool. There we go. Now the firewall exception is done. Now I just finally enable the service. Systemctl. Let's do it let's do it by hand. Let's try to start DHCP. Come on. DHCPD. Cool. And let's enable it. And it's okay. This is just legacy stuff. Doesn't really matter. Looks good. Let's do systemctl status DHCPD. Okay. So it looks to be okay. Something went here. DHCPD. It's not executable skipping. Okay, it looks to be active, but it's not. It's enabled. Oh, there. Okay, it worked. So it's enabled. So it will be enabled on next reboot, and it's active and running. So no errors, nothing to worry about. Those were just legacy warnings, and that's fine. So let's review really quickly. So first, we install the DHCP server with no typos. But hopefully, you install it. Okay. You configure the configuration file with the sample I'm going to put in the description. You add the firewall wall, don't forget the double dash. Okay, it's double dash add service and not single dash. That's just me being stupid. And then you just start and enable, and you check the status, and it should be started successfully. And the DHCP server part, which is a harder part, it's now fine and done. Now let's check out the client. So here we are at the client and going to test this out. So the client, you can make a permanent configuration to be a DHCP configuration. So I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this. This is Rocky 9 on both on the server and on the client. They're both Rocky 9 or RHEL 9, the same thing. So I don't want to make a permanent configuration. I don't want to make a permanent configuration to make this permanently a DHCP client PC. I will do it by hand with no permanent configuration. So on every reboot, it's going to have its own IP address that I need it. But for this time around, I'm going to force him to request an IP via DHCP. To do so, I need to remove this IP address first because he already requested the IP. So I'm going to remove this one, which is 101. And this now I have no IP address. Okay, so I can ping nothing. And let's try to ping the DHCP server himself, and it's not there because we have no IP. No problem. So I could make a configuration that will be always permanent. Okay, that will be always permanent, and every reboot it will request an IP via DHCP. I don't want to do that. I want to do this one time only. If you want to check more details about network configuration with NM2E and MCLI and all that good stuff, go and check my channel. I have multiple videos about that, and I will try to remember to put it on the end cards, so you can just go and check it out. But you can just do DH client, DHC client, and ENS. Well, first, let me show you the IP, the network name, network card name. It's ENS 160. So DH client, ENS 160. Okay, it's telling me that my DH client is already running, which it is. I have run it before. So it's quite simple to get rid of this. So just kill that process. Okay, kill -9, 274.10. And we try again. Let me just show you, I don't have an IP yet. Okay, so let's do this again. And this is going to take just a smidgen of time. Now it's ignore that those warnings. They are just legacy warnings. It's fine. You don't need those files for now. IPA, there we go. We have the 101 IP address obtained. So the list is correct. It was from 100 to 150. We got the 101, which is fine. And we should be able to ping the DHCP server himself, which means that the network is pretty cool. Do I have a gateway? There we have it. We have the gateway there, the 101, and we should be good to go. Now, if you want to, let's wrap this up, checking the lists on the server. Let's see how many IP addresses he has leased and to whom. In order to do that, you go to the DHCP server himself, and you just check the contents of that file, var lib dhcpd.leases, and you'll see there the IP addresses you have leased. So it says I have leased the 101 IP address, which makes sense, okay? And you have there the hardware, the MAC address of the server that received the IP. It's the 81AC. So if I go back to my client, you see that the MAC address is not here yet. Okay, the MAC address is 181AC, and you are pretty good to go. So the client obtained an IP address. The server has leased the IP address to the client. You know which configurations were applied to the client, and you know the MAC address of the client that received those leases. Well, quite fun. I really like to do this. I do this all the time for my clients and everybody that asks me to do that. But quite simple. You have the IP, you have the DHCP up and running. Of course, the config file can have more options to make it more strong, with more details, with more details to be leased and other stuff. But as a very simple DHCP server, there we go. It really works. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. I'm really happy to reply to any of your questions. Like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.